Hey everyone, my name is Elena and welcome to Coasterverse. Today I am going to be finally doing a Q&A on the channel. So let's get right into it before we waste any more time. So the first question comes from Chocogo IK1IG. What is your top 5 bucket list roller coasters and do you like nano coasters? So for the second question, I prefer coaster cutouts, but nano coasters are cool too. And my top 5 bucket list roller coasters, not in any order, except for the first one. Airy Force 1 is my number 1 bucket list coaster. Then I gotta go Velocicoaster, Ride to Happiness, maybe something like Flying Dinosaur, and then Intimidator 305. Element of the Ride asks, if you could operate any roller coaster in the world, what would it be and why? And then if you got to pick a new for 2024 coaster to ride on Media Day / first opening day, which one would you pick? So for the first question, I would probably go with a B&M of some sort, so I'd probably say Fury 325. The operations are outstanding, so I would love to operate Fury 325. And then if I got to pick a new for 2024 coaster to ride on Media / first opening day, I would have to say Top Thrill 2. I'm really excited for the ride in of itself, but being able to say that I got to do it on first opening day or Media Day would just be so cool to say. Coaster Topics asks, what is your least favorite roller coaster? So for many of you guys, you may know that Hurler was my least favorite roller coaster for the longest time, but it is now Mighty Canadian Mindbuster at Canada's Wonderland. Being a single rider, I got assigned to a wheel seat, and it was quite possibly the worst experience I've ever had on a roller coaster. It was so rough, it had no forces whatsoever, and it's just horrible. Hangtime Enthusiast asks, what got you to be an enthusiast? Well, I'm not even kidding, I have been a roller coaster enthusiast since birth. Like, I never rode a roller coaster until age 12 other than, like, kiddie rides, but I would study the roller coasters, I would watch Coaster Studios, like, those parodies raised me, I'm not even kidding. But yeah, I would have to say, like, watching the videos over and over again until my 12th birthday when I got a gold pass, and I was like, okay, we're gonna be going more than once this year. I gotta ride at least one roller coaster. So I made it Iron Dragon, and boom, I was hooked with riding roller coasters. Random Roller Coaster Enthusiast asks, what are your top 3 roller coaster YouTubers? I'll just do a top 3, like, in order. Number 1, Zooter Loopers. He is so underrated, you guys need to check him out. I'll probably, like, mention him in this video because his quality is just absolutely insane. You guys need to check him out if you haven't seen him already. He's such a big inspiration for me too, like, check him out please. Number 2, I would have to go Coastoons. I know it's kind of basic, but he really is funny, he has good quality, and yeah. Then number 3, El Toro Ryan. He is just so diverse with the coaster breakdowns, coaster idiots, like everything about it. He just makes awesome content. Introverted asks, how many roller coaster models do you have? Not counting the ones that have been broken, I have my Millennium Force lift hill cut out, a Steel Vengeance first car cut out, Skyrush, Raptor, Top Thrill Dragster, and Iron Dragon. But then I also have the Fury 325 drop cutout from the Cedar Point Bingo episode where I won, and then I also have a small little Wild Mouse cutout, and then I also have the part of track from Wicked Twister, which is pretty cool. Coaster Confusion asks, what are all of the parks that you've been to? And then also, dream job, is it in the roller coaster industry? So before I became an enthusiast, I have been to quite a few parks. I'm not going to count the amount of water parks that I've been to, but regarding like dry parks and amusement parks, I have been to Busch Gardens Tampa, Canada's Wonderland, Carowinds, Cedar Point, Clifton Hill and Niagara Falls, which doesn't really have any roller coasters except for the Burger King coaster that I sadly missed out on, but I still rode like the Ferris wheel and stuff like that. I have been to Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Family Kingdom, Fun Spot Kissimmee, Hershey Park, House of Frankenstein with the Burger King coaster, which I missed out on, Kennywood, Kings Island, Legoland, California, Magic Kingdom, Memphis Kiddie Park, Ocean Drive Pavilion Amusement Park, Pacific Park, aka Santa Monica Pier, SeaWorld Orlando, Six Flags Great Escape, Sluggers and Putters, the Stratosphere Hotel, Tuscarora Park, and the Universal Parks in Florida. So I have been to quite a few parks. A lot of those I missed out on the credits, which I'm pretty mad about. But yeah, I hope to get back to those along with many other new parks soon. And then my dream job is actually editing for film. It used to be a teacher, which I would still be fine with, like a social studies teacher. But to be completely honest, editing has been such a fun thing to do, making these videos for you guys, and I could see myself making a career out of it. Just something in the film industry, even if I don't make it as an editor. Coaster Commentary asks, how did you become a roller coaster enthusiast? So, like I said before, I grew up studying the roller coasters, watching roller coaster YouTubers, and then finally, on my 12th birthday, I got a gold pass, and I felt obligated to ride my first real roller coaster, so I did, and I got hooked on riding the roller coasters too. Goliath146 asks, what is your most anticipated roller coaster that releases next year? And number 2, what is the roughest roller coaster you've ridden? So my most anticipated roller coaster that releases next year has got to be Top Thrill 2, of course. Yes, it's by Zamperla, but I am willing to give them a chance. I feel like they'll do a pretty good job. And then for the roughest roller coaster I've ridden, I would say either Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, but I would have to go with Mindblower. It gave me a headache for 3 hours after riding it, but it still ranks pretty high for me just because of the potential it has. The airtime was great, the laterals were insane, and that inversion is really, really cool. So it's rough, but it's fun. Coaster Rush asks, what is your number 1 bucket list roller coaster that you haven't ridden yet? What is your number 1 bucket list park? So my number 1 bucket list roller coaster has got to be Airy Force 1. Just judging by how insane everyone is saying that it is, I just need to ride it sometime soon. And then my number 1 bucket list park, it may be an obscure one, but I would love to go back to SeaWorld Orlando and get on rides like Mako, Pipeline, Kraken, Manta, Icebreaker. It just seems like a cute park that I would love to go to. Hangtime Enthusiast asks, have you ever had any struggles or problems while being a YouTuber? Yes, yes, and yes. I used to do daily uploads and it took a massive toll on me. Like, it was so draining. I almost quit dozens of times. I'm honestly surprised I'm still here and going, but if I continued to do daily uploads, you guys would not see that much of me. Like, the quality of the videos would tank, and it was just so draining. Like, no matter what I would upload, like, no matter how severe of a situation I was in, I would still upload, which probably wasn't the best for me. Park Visions asks, what got you started into wanting to become a content creator for the coaster industry? So also, as some of you guys may know, I used to have a channel called Elena Kiddo 9 where I would upload quite possibly the worst videos known to be on the YouTube platform. And I quit after a while. I was like, yeah, this is embarrassing. Why am I still going with this? And then after 2 years, I was like, you know what? I just made friends with enthusiasts at my school, and I love talking about roller coasters with them. So why don't I talk to more people about roller coasters? Like, what if I get a broader audience? So I decided to start Coasterverse. Coaster Breakdown asks, what is your favorite and most wanted to ride backyard coaster and why? So sadly, I would say Shadow Stalker, which I've heard is closing because New Jersey is like shutting it down, but it looks like such a fun ride. Like, it looks like it has actual airtime and laterals, which just seems amazing. And I am so sorry for the person who created that because they're getting it shut down and he didn't really do anything wrong. It's just a cool project that he made, but I would definitely want to ride Shadow Stalker. Diamondback Productions asks, what do you think will be better, Top Thrill 2 or King Ka? So King Ka will overall have the more punchy launch, but Top Thrill 2 will probably be better in my opinion, just because of the layout extension, and that spike will look insane, just staring down 90 degrees and 420 feet up in the air, just staring down into nothingness. It just looks awesome, and I can't wait to get on it. K-Fic asks, do you have GP at your school that say things that make no sense? Absolutely. I can't think of any instances right now of, like, GP like saying something, like any examples, but I know it has happened to me quite a bit. I do have 2 friends from my school that are enthusiasts, so we kind of get through it together and we laugh about it together, but honestly, if anything, it's more fun to just hear what the GP at my school have to say. Chandler Reams asks, why did you want to be an enthusiast? So, like I said before, I grew up watching roller coaster videos, and then I finally got the guts to ride my first big one because I was genuinely terrified that I would be getting sick. And that's what held me back. I wasn't scared of the ride itself, I was scared of what the ride would do to me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna test, I'm just gonna see if these roller coasters can affect me or not, because I know boats can, but I don't know if coasters can. And it ended up being okay, for the most part. Roller coasters can get me sick sometimes. It's more of flat rides though, so that's why I don't ride flat rides. But for the most part, I was just kind of testing out my limits of what I could experience with my motion sickness. Park Visions again asks, what was your first coaster and how was the experience for you? So my first ever real roller coaster was Iron Dragon. I had ridden rides like Little Dipper at Memphis Kiddie Park and Woodstock Express and Wilderness Run previously. However, Iron Dragon was my first ever like true roller coaster, and I was so happy. Like, I was beaming the entire ride. I looked like a kid on Christmas Day. Like, I was just so happy. It was a great experience. That Guys 1848 asks, have you felt like you've had any difficulties with being a female roller coaster enthusiast in a community that tends to be very male dominated? Absolutely. I'm not going to go into specifics for privacy reasons, but there have been many instances where stuff has happened, and it's mostly because I'm a female roller coaster enthusiast. So, yeah. Nighttime Stars May Be Dead? This is the last question already. Wow. Okay, the last question is from Nighttime Stars May Be Dead. Who do you want to collaborate with the most? Honestly, Zooter Loopers. I said that he was my favorite roller coaster YouTuber, and it's very true, but I would also love to collaborate with him. Like, if I ever go down to Florida or something like that, I would love to be in a part of his vlog at least. Either that, or it would be a dream of mine to be in a Coaster Idiots episode. Like, that'd be so cool. But yeah, either being a Coaster Idiot for a day, or making, like, a loop episode with the Zooter Loopers. I think that'd be so cool. Alright, well, that is all of the questions that I had. I might do this again if I hit another milestone, like 2,000 or 5,000 subscribers. So, thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. It has meant a lot to me. It was really fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.